It's 1945. Billy Pilgrim is cowering in a bunker, while the city of Dresden is being bombed. Kurt Vonnegut created this story to represent the horrors of war. We are going to find out a little bit more about this and how it links back to his life. Professor Christian Gibson lives in Houston, Texas. He's an expert on war and specifically the Dresden bombing. We're going to interrogate this man and find out what really happened. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, what are you doing?
Wake up! Tell me about Dresden.
Who are you?
Is Billy Pilgrim real?
Where am I?
Where's the time machine?
I know where you're talking
I'm
about.
playing with you!
Okay. Dresden, you said. I was a U.S. soldier back then. The D-Day landings. February 13th, 1945. Dresden. Such a beautiful city. We firebombed it February 13th through the 15th. 45. It was crazy. Brutal. Over 130,000 people just gone. Whisked away with the smoke.
Was Kurt Vonnegut in your platoon?
Vonnegut. Crazy son of a...
Who are the Tralfamadorians?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who are the Tralfamadorians?
I don't know what you're talking about.
After politely asking Mr. Gibson about his time with Vonnegut, he went into a flashback, and we will now show that dramatization.
Heads up.
Gibson described the place as hellish, and the doorsteps to the Devil's Mansion itself. It was very chaotic, supposedly, that he was there, and he could remember every single detail. Yes. The troops were moving in to save Vonnegut in the German compound right after the bombing happened.
You gonna talk now?
Vonnegut. He was a lunatic. Some say he was even a pacifist.
Tralfamadorians.
I don't listen to anything that guy said. I don't believe that he belonged there. He didn't belong there.
Gibson said he finally found Vonnegut, but by that time, he was nuts.
Vonnegut?
Well, thank you, but we don't need you anymore.
Oh, really?
I sat down with Professor Omar Mansour to get a little more insight on Kurt Vonnegut's life as well as his book Slaughterhouse-5, but apparently something went wrong. Professor Omar Mansour seemed like he knew nothing about Kurt Vonnegut or his story Slaughterhouse-5, so I did a little more research by myself and found out a few more facts than Omar Mansour could ever tell me. Kurt Vonnegut had a relatively happy childhood until the stock market crash of 1929. This made his parents very depressed and ended up leading to his mother's suicide in 1944. Vonnegut enrolled in college and decided to become a biologist by studying chemistry and biology, but obviously that did not work out. Vonnegut was eventually enrolled into the military after his education because he caught a cold case of pneumonia. During the Battle of the Bulge, he was captured and taken to Dresden as a POW. There he was put in Slaughterhouse-5 to witness the mass destruction of the bombings. The bombings of Dresden claimed 135,000 to 200,000 lives that day. That's more than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. This would eventually lead to Vonnegut's passion to write Slaughterhouse-5, where he exploits the war using many crazy aspects, such as aliens, time travelers, and porn stars. The Russians eventually freed Vonnegut from his POW status, and he came home to marry his high school sweetheart. There, he started writing and writing and writing. He wrote Cat's Cradle and was awarded his M.A. He eventually wrote about Slaughterhouse-5 using Billy Pilgrim as his main character. This would spark much debate around 1973 on whether or not he supported the war, the troops in America, or not. A dreadfully obvious parallel between Billy Pilgrim and Vonnegut is that they both had seen the war and afterwards became pacifists because of it. This is Vonnegut's way of showing that war is a disgusting place to be. The representation of Billy Pilgrim being unstuck in time means that war is as well unstuck in time. War has been with humankind forever, so has murdering, crimes, lying, cheating, all that good stuff. That is always part of the human race and always will be. But we can do something to change that. Vonnegut believes with time the human race can advance and stop this childish foolery. This is the child's crusade, either to save the children from war in the future, or that it is so childish to fight over nonsensical things that we should just stop completely. Vonnegut only wants to help, stop calling him a lunatic. Billy Pilgrim's never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. For an example of Mansour's incompetence, listen to this.
So, what do you think about the Tralfamadorians? What do they represent to Vonnegut?
Well, the Tralfamadorians could link back to the Nazis, the people he was fighting against.
Not
So
very
tell me a little bit
insightful
about
at
Vonnegut's
all.
personal life.
In fact, in my younger days,
Well,
I would have said, duh.
Vonnegut was a pacifist. He didn't like war. He was a heavy drinker, heavy smoker. He had a lot of distractions at home writing the book. He had problems with his wife. He had to get money to support his 7 children. Seriously.
How did Vonnegut add himself into the book?
Well, in Slaughterhouse-5, he showed Vonnegut as a breeder of Kilgore trout. He used Kilgore trout as a person to represent his alter ego, and he also used to like making drunken phone calls to Billy.
Right. So why was Vonnegut's book so effective? It is a war book. Why was it so effective in being an anti-war book?
Well, Kurt Vonnegut does a good job explaining how war really is. He symbolizes death a lot with his familiar catchphrase, "So it goes." It refers to the dead bodies you see around in the middle of war. Obviously, this left a lot of pain on Kurt Vonnegut, and he was clearly a pacifist. He did not like anything about war.
So we can conclude that Slaughterhouse-5 may have been a fictional memoir of Vonnegut's life, such that he represented himself as Billy Pilgrim, who did not want to fight as well. Well, tune in next time and we'll see about F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. I'm Brenton and I found an English accent. Don't judge Mr. Pilgrim, he's only trying to help you.
The reason why I know so much about Dresden was I was a soldier. After the D-Day landings, February 1945.
I don't believe you! Oh. Wake up! Tell me about Dresden. Don't get a view of me.
I have to for the question. You have to see like, who's interrogating him.
No, you don't see me interrogating. You see him only. Damn, it's off. How's that?
It's pretty good.
That looks pretty good.
Vonnegut was a pacifist, therefore he portrayed... That doesn't make sense. In one part, Billy encountered peace after destruction. Vonnegut portrayed his pacifist side through Billy after the peace on... Damn!